Hey guys, welcome to another... Am I recording? I am. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the F122 My Team Career Mode, part 26, as we crack on with the race weekend at Imola for the second season. Sprint weekend again. We enjoyed the sprint at Imola last year. It's a track that has a real flow to it. If you can get into the rhythm, you can have a really solid weekend. We finished 14th last year. Obviously, we've had many patches to the game since then and had a tweak of the difficulty level, so we're not sure how we're going to perform this round. But as you can see, performance index-wise, we're still the 10th slowest car. Sorry, 10th fastest car. But we're hoping that once those upgrades start to flow, and they will start to flow more regularly now as we're getting more resource points per Grand Prix weekend, that gap will be closed quicker and quicker. It's dry for the sprint. It's dry for the race. Yay! I was panicking, expecting it to rain at some point. It will not. Dry, full race weekend here at Imola. Thank the bloody Lord for that. Right, let's head to the session. Go and get ourselves... Actually, I'm going to put in a fresh gearbox for... No, that'll do a full weekend. Oh, will it though? Yeah, it should do. Right, let's go to practice, earn ourselves some resource points, then go qualifying, then sprint, 21 laps, then race, 63 laps. A lot of action today. It was a long episode last year, or last season, hopefully. It'll be an entertaining one this time around as well. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying, of course, as ever, and make sure you're subscribed to this ChesnoidPlays channel here on YouTube to ensure that you don't miss out on any further content. Let's go racing. 1:19.6. I'm just a couple of tenths quicker. Genuinely just a couple of tenths quicker with the default setup. So we'll go with the default setup. The 3 balance. There's not too much difference. Only a couple of tenths in it. So it's perfectly acceptable to run the default, I think. And we will retire from this session, but we won't find out how many resource points we get until after the second practice session. But that comes after qualifying. I didn't do any soft running in that session at all, so we don't yet know what our outright pace is like on a soft set. Qualifying could go very well, it could go very poorly. We did not qualify well at Imola last year. It was like 21st or 20th, and then we were able to get ourselves up to 15th for the sprint race, I think, which is then where we, or after the sprint race, which is then where obviously we started the main race and then we finished in 15th as well in the main Imola race. So we've obviously had updates to the game since then. We've upped the difficulty since then. Everybody's cars have improved since then. We're getting a better understanding of where the car genuinely is in the performance index. I genuinely feel now like the 10th fastest team. I feel like the second slowest team right now, but that was how it was always going to be. We've got major updates coming for the aero and chassis departments very, very soon indeed. And with regards the powertrain, I don't quite yet have enough to redo the ECU. I need another 60 odd, so we'll redo that in the not too distant future. But first, we need to qualify before we can get our resource points from the second practice session and then upgrade up before the sprint. So it's qualifying next. We're going to go slightly faster, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. The time puts me P10, it seems, for now, but where we end the session is probably going to be 15, 16, 17, 18, I would imagine. 16.5. And yeah, I think that might have been P16. We might just have made it through to Q2. Or we might just have gone out. P15. It was borderline, but we are through. Nico Hulkenberg is really disappointing. He just hasn't seemingly got any pace in the car whatsoever, despite being such a high-rated driver and having really good stats. Unfortunately, he's just not clicking with this car. We are through to Q2, however, so we actually are only a couple of tenths on that evidence from making it into Q3. We're only a second off the pace. This is a shorter lap, of course, so finding 2 tenths around a shorter lap is much more difficult, but it might be able to be done. We're going to go quicker, but it is going to be a lap time that is slower than our Q1 time. It's only a 17 flat. We did a 1:16.6 in Q1, so we're certainly off the pace in Q2. Probably going to be P16 with a lap like that, I would imagine. But we know we can go a little bit quicker at least. And yeah, a 1:16.6. Our first lap, our fastest lap from Q1 would have put us P14. But starting P16 for the sprint isn't that bad. Max Verstappen out of position with a poor qualifying session. Lando does well. Valtteri Bottas does superbly well to get a P6 in that McLaren. And Fernando Alonso continuing to drive the tits off that Alpine. Esteban Ocon in P10. So qualifying done. But now actually we go back to practice. We will quick practice, however, to get some extra resource points. Another 150 from that. 100% success rate. Banging. And a 70% success rate of this one. But we should do it first time. And we do. Crack-a-lackin'. All objectives complete. I mean, I might as well get the discounts for these as well whilst we're at it. 70% success rate. Get it done. Bing. Good. All practice. There you go. Perfect. Max, max, maxi, max, max. Now then, how many resource points are we going to get? Over 1,000, I'd like to think, for that. Especially if Nico can chip in. He did 350 odd last time. 375 this time. Another good 1,200 point or more haul. 1998. That's how many resource points we have at present. And we can certainly afford to do a couple of things with that. We will put the emphasis on redoing the fuel one that certainly will pass 100% next time round. That was 460 odd. And we should have enough to do one of the much higher valued options outside of that. So the ECU will do 0% chance of failure. That'll actually be done for the next race. Oh, I forgot about the tyre wear as well. That's going to be 638. Now, I'm not going to be able to do anything else outside of that, but it's certainly important that we did it. So I'm going to need to get another 700 or so resource points, maybe 600 for the DRS or the drag reduction. Drag reduction is going to be important, but I feel like front and rear downforce are more important at the minute. We are going to get the rear wing upper flap added in a day's time. So unfortunately not in time for this Grand Prix weekend. I imagine it's not going to turn up on race... Well, it couldn't because of part firmware conditions. Turn up on race day after we've done sprint day. But after that, chassis is... Well, I can't do that one. That's 1,400 as well. And then we need to up the... Oh, actually, I can do the... Do I want to do the ERS? Battery is important to me in straight lines. Go on then, let's do the ERS as well. Let's do that too. It's going to be important, so let's get it done. Okay then. Well, a number of things added, as you can see from the performance index there, would actually take us seemingly level with AlphaTauri as things currently stand. But you imagine other teams have things in the work as well. You can see how everyone else has kind of taken an incline up, and we, as of yet, pretty plateaued, but we have a number of things in the works. Right then, 21 laps of a sprint race, starting from P15, was it? Coming up next. No, P16. It was P16, wasn't it? It's pedal to the metal time. So, we know what most of the grid is going to look like, but George Russell on pole in Imola. 15 fours. Wow. Super fast from George Russell. Charles Leclerc there as well. Then Sainz and Hamilton, seemingly... Mercedes and Ferrari, the two going for it this season. I haven't really paid too much attention to the actual standings to this point. But Norris in 11, Magnussen 12, Verstappen 13, Porsche 14. I don't think there's any penalties in here. It is still, like we say, very early in the season. Yes, we will be starting 16th. We know we're slightly faster, though, than that lap time implies. So, hopefully, we can at least hold our position for this sprint race. If not, maybe improve a bit. Medium tyres on everyone, looking to go the full distance on them. Certainly, I don't think there's any sort of race strategy that we could do here that would actually make us any quicker. Fuel-wise, 21 laps. I'll put 1.2 laps worth of extra fuel in. And over 21 laps, hopefully we won't use all that. But it'll be a good gauge for the race, actually, the fuel here. So we might as well just jump straight into starting the sprint and see what we can do. There is a formation lap, of course, before the sprint, because it is a race nonetheless. But fingers crossed we can move forward. We know, we think we're about 14th fastest-ish on outright pace. But that was when I nailed the lap. Evidently, when I didn't nail the lap, I was slightly lower down. And if I'd have done a 117 flat in Q1, then we wouldn't have made it out of that first qualifying session. So I am going to have to be consistent with my lap times, use my battery well, and drive my arse off, basically. Be precise with the way that we navigate the curbs, because they will spit you out or cause underbody damage. It's going to be a difficult sprint race, this, but hopefully we can get involved. Starts have been really difficult for me this year. I don't know whether you guys are experiencing the same. Do let me know in the comment section how you're getting on with starts. If you find like you're doing starts well, then let me know what you do so that I can try and imitate it or replicate it. I get lots of wheel spin at the beginning. As you can see, Yuki Tsunoda just flying. Zhou Guanyu too. I've got a car on the outside of me, a car on the inside of me. Lance Stroll just bundled me out the way. That is not Lance Stroll, got collision for the thing with Stroll, but Sebastian Vettel just drove into me. Stroll here just forces his way around the outside, and then Sebastian Vettel just drives straight into the back of me and is out. That is Seb finishing last in the sprint race and starting last in the full race. Is there a safety car? Virtual safety car deployed. Virtual safety car deployed. Not really a surprise after that, but it shouldn't last long, I wouldn't have thought. Kind of nullifies the race for the time being. Means we can save some... Whoa! Okay. Save some fuel if we need to, but I won't, just so I get a good understanding of how much fuel we're using throughout the course of the sprint race, and then we'll take it from there. That way we'll know what to do for the full Grand Prix. Still virtual safety car. Not looking like it's going to end for the time being. Are we ending? Everyone's seemingly just driving flat out still. Virtual safety car ending as we're going through the chicane. We're P20 currently. There's the green flag just as I balls my exit up out the chicane. So now 0.8 seconds behind Nico, but they'll all concertina up around here and we'll get back into the mix. Well, that was an interesting start to the sprint, wasn't it? Wasn't expecting that. Sebastian Vettel just ploughing straight into the back of me. Hopefully he didn't do any damage. I don't think he did. He's going to go for the inside this time. Himself well out of shape. But he's gotten it done. Nicholas Latifi up to P20 and we are down to P21. He's still very fast in a straight line, the AI here at Imola. Nico's gone deep there and we'll take him. That's P20. DRS from next lap, of course. Got the run on Latifi here. We'll go for the move up the inside of the chicane if he doesn't go defensive, which he hasn't done. That is going to be P19. Thank you. Right, get within a second and make sure that we can have DRS through the beginning of the next lap. Actually, it'll be the lap after next because DRS isn't enabled until lap 3. Yellow flag in front. Valtteri Bottas is out. Whether that's a crash or something mechanical, I'm not sure. We'll have a look. Presumably something mechanical. That's Lando. Yep. That's definitely mechanical. But it's another place for us in this sprint race. Although obviously, come the full race, that's still a car that will start behind us that is faster than us. That we'd expect to come through. Valtteri qualified like P6, didn't he? Very, very, very good effort from the Finn in that McLaren. This lot start fighting and going 2 by 2 again like they were before, then we really could start to make some moves forward. At the minute, we're just kind of watching it all happen in front of us. Latifi and Hulkenberg are closing on us now as this group continue to not maximise lap time. The minute I'm just able to keep pace, I can't actually get close enough to overtake. Oh, it's got a little bit wobbly there. I could go for a lunge. I'm going to go for a lunge. We are past Lance Stroll. I had to get aggressive, but I got it done. So Guan Yu and Alex Albon getting feisty. I think it showed Guan Yu making the move on Alex rather than the other way around, but getting really slow.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
It's allowed Lance Stroll right back up to the back of us. Alex Albon really slow through there. I'm worried about Stroll from behind, I have to be honest. But he's equally going to be as concerned about Latifi from behind as well. Nearly 40% wear on the rears. Lock up from Albon. He's gone wide. We passed him and he's lost a number of positions there. Alexander Albon. Did he just lock up or was there contact? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. I think he just locked up. Yeah, big lock up onto the gravel and then had to just wait for everyone else to go past before he could get back on track. George Russell wins the sprint race. He's from start to finish. Takes the 8 points for a P1 in a sprint. Points, of course, from 1st to 8th in a sprint race as opposed to 1st to 10th in a full race, which is what we shall be doing next. Starting, it seems, from P15, which is extremely hard fought. Very lucky to get it, thanks to retirements and other drivers fighting and causing themselves problems. So I am still going to drop the difficulty from 92 to 90 for the full race. But it is a P15 finish in the sprint, which is alright. It's alright. We'll try and go a little bit better in the race. But certainly when I was left with my own devices and there weren't cars around me, nor was I in DRS range in front, they were pulling away from me. So that's only going to be even further of an issue in the race itself. So we will drop the difficulty from 92 to 90 for the Grand Prix, purely for entertainment purposes, so that there's more for you guys to see than me just sitting in the same position for 50 laps doing nothing. So hopefully that will work. Hopefully it gets us a little bit more competitive and sees a bit more on-track action more of the time. But I'm still relatively okay with where we were, but certainly I could do with a little bit more of a helping hand. So it's still within the master setting, but 90 is where we're at. It's still up 5 from where we were pre-patch, and evidently at some tracks it's just not quite, we're not quite fast enough. Or if anything, it's more a case of at some tracks we are too realistic, because as you can see from the index, we are significantly below Aston Martin, McLaren and Haas, and they're getting away from me and I'm not catching them, which is how it should be if we were real life. But we do want to kind of slightly accelerate the way that we go through this career mode, because obviously you guys don't want to watch me at the back for 10 seasons. To the race then. So the grid will be as it was at the end of the sprint. Not that we know what happened further up. Charles Leclerc in P2. So 1 and 2 are the same as they were at the beginning of the sprint. Sainz and Hamilton continually. So not too many changes with the positions there. Valtteri Bottas obviously will be starting further back because he retired. Norris P9 made some advances forward in that race. K-Mag and Tsunoda. Teo, Zhou, me! And then Lance Stroll right behind me, soon to overtake me when I have a characteristically poor start, probably. Hulkenberg starts 18th. Vettel obviously, Valtteri Bottas takes a penalty for the engine issue he had, and Vettel obviously crashed out on lap 1. Now, the question is, what's everyone else doing strategy-wise? I am going to need a lot more fuel here, it seems. The majority starting on the softs, although Seb and Valtteri behind us starting on the mediums. My teammate Nico Hulkenberg, Charles Leclerc and Esteban Ocon starting on the hards. Now, you can see it's actually added 3.4 laps worth of extra fuel in there. It reckons that I could... My selected strategy is actually medium to hard because of my accelerated tyre wear. But we can probably edit this one slightly to make it a little bit better for us. I'll put 3 laps worth of extra fuel in. We will go soft, soft, medium with the option of soft, medium, soft. And then we have the chance to hopefully hold position, if not go slightly further forward. So formation lap then before the Imola Grand Prix. We've had to restart because of tyre temp issues again, unfortunately. Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Ocon, Magnussen and Latifi on hards and the 2 at the back on mediums. So what we previously looked at is now changed. Apologies for that. Hopefully that bug is fixed sooner rather than later. Looking at you, Cody's. Because I'm having to restart a third of the races I'm doing because tyre temps, even though they were already only 3 clicks up, have to go back down again. So we're running almost minimum pressures on the back and very nearly minimum pressures on the front, just to try and make sure that tyres don't overheat unrealistically or unsuitably for the conditions. So here we go again, starting P15. Again, a lot of wheel spin and a poor start, but oh, Williams on my outside there just drove into me. I've got a warning for the collision with Latifi. I'll try and have a look at the inside of Max. That's not worked. I don't know what it is about starts, but I cannot get off the line with any pace whatsoever. I always lose 3, 4, 5 positions at the start without fail. Bottas is now going to have a look up the inside. So we've dropped to P21 from P15. I've lost 6 positions at the start there. Soon to be 7 because Valtteri is going to have me up the inside here. And we've held it for now. So I've actually had a worse start than I did last time around. But, oh well. It is what it is. Hopefully tyre temps don't shit me up this time. Thought about having a look, didn't. Very slow. Very, very slow through there. Oh well. I'm a little bit frustrated that we had to start again, to be honest. Especially having had now a worse start than before. But that's the nature of it. Hopefully, over the course of the full Grand Prix, it will turn out to have been a good decision. Seb and Bottas on the mediums, as you can see. So expect them to be a little bit slower, although Valtteri is probably going to be quicker on his mediums than we are on our softs. They are all over the place in front. Verstappen getting past Latifi, me going wide. Green flag again, and my going wide has allowed Valtteri Bottas through, which is great. So now I'm last. Oh, I've had a great start here. That was out of pure frustration. But we've made 2 positions. Hopefully I didn't get any damage from that. Albon and Latifi getting feisty with one another now. DRS will be active at the end of this lap. For next lap. I've got the run on Albon already here. But I've got to make sure I don't go into the back of Nicholas Latifi when we start braking. Which is exactly what Alexander Albon's done. But we're going to take Nicholas Latifi and we're going to chase down Alexander Albon. So that's P19. Latifi coming back at me here, but I've got the inside line. So we'll keep the position.
Nice move. Good job.
Things are getting feisty out here, it seems. Jeez, P19. Off we go again. Someone was in the pits there. Not sure who it was. It's an Alpine. So someone picked up dummies. Yellow flags again here as more cars force other cars offline. There's Lewis Hamilton. What's happened to Lewis then? Jeez. Had to slam on the brakes there. He's been forced wide by... Well, no, he's in defence against Lando. He locks up, and he's just going to get stuck on the gravel here. Trying to come back on. But, oh, then through come ourselves. That was a bit mental. That was a bit close. Getting Sebastian Vettel having a look at me there, but managed to hold him off. That one not quite close enough to have a look at Nico. He might be at the end of the straight though. Only 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths, the gap between them. Is he going to have a look? He went one way, he's gone the other. Contact for sure between the two of them. I get wheel spin trying to avoid an accident. Now Nico's gone defensive on me. So that's going to make him slow here. We're just biding our time at the moment. Currently P17. So Seb behind on those mediums is actually keeping pace with us here. Bottas doing the same. The Alpine that unfortunately had to pit for damage is a long way behind right now. But we're only just keeping pace with those in front. We're not necessarily all over the back of them, are we? K-Mag here is definitely slowing Alex Albon up, for sure. Might have a look at one another in a moment. Alex Albon looking around the outside of Kevin Magnussen in the Williams. They will be slow around here. Contact between the two. Just trying to avoid any potential accident by hanging back a little bit. K-Mag overtaken by Alex Albon. Now, myself and Nico are going to have to make sure we get past K-Mag as quickly as we can. Otherwise, we're going to get left behind by Alex Albon. It's going to disappear and we're not going to have the opportunity to potentially move further forward. K-Mag is on the hard tyre, which is certainly a massive factor as to why his pace is as slow as it is. Why he's as vulnerable as he is. You can see Alex Albon already extending a gap in front. That is a gap that we'd very much like to overturn, or at least minimalise. Nico's gone defensive here. I'm going to have a look around the outside of my teammate, but I'm not going to get it done. Bottas is past Vettel behind. No DRS for Nico in front. Not going to be close enough to make a move, but we're certainly going to close the gap, that's for sure. Bottas is right on me though. He's going for it, Valtteri. He's got the pace on those mediums. Bottas has passed me. We're down to P18. There's not really much I could do about that. Valtteri decided he was coming through. And it was a very, very good move. We're wanting to take these to lap 15. I need to figure out whether I want to change that front wing or not. I think I am going to want to change it. Yellow flags behind us. Sebastian Vettel going wide in a battle with Lewis, or yeah, I think Seb. Oh, he shut the door there, didn't he? Jesus. Lewis went one way and Seb just closed him to the grass. Wait for Seb to lock up and go, wee, bye, pal. Lewis is through. Now Lewis is going to come back at me. We're P18, but we might be P19 soon. P18 currently with my teammate P17. You can see the speed of Lewis Hamilton. Trying to position the car well enough to ensure that he doesn't get through. We did have a look at the inside into Aqua Minerale there, which really, really distracted me. The little arrow turned red and I thought I'll leave him room, and then he backed out of it, by which point I was well offline and couldn't react in time. Yellow flag in front. Slow moving Aston Martin, slow moving Haas. Not moving Haas. Zhou Guanyu out of the Grand Prix. Looks very much like a mechanical failure than anything else. Zhou Guanyu retires. P17 becomes ours. Lewis is interested, to say the least. He's on hard tyres, so he's going to go a long way into this race now before stopping again, if he even stops again. I'm sure he will, actually. But he's definitely getting interested in the back of me. Trying to be interested in the back of Nico. He's going to be out of DRS range of Valtteri Bottas now, which is going to be important for us to potentially try and take him. Just keep getting loads of wheel spin at the rear, though. I think it's just wear, not temps. It is indeed wear, not temps. Doesn't acknowledge the fact that I'm actually on the outside of him. Thank you. Fucking hell. That was a pain in the dick. Now Lewis looking to get Nico as well. This is painful at the minute, but it is contributed to by that front wing damage. So we're going to pit this lap. We're going to switch to another set of softs because I'm going to want that. I'm just going to need that speed. And hopefully we can recoup the time lost for having a front wing change in this next stop, and we'll be able to still have a decent finish with P16 currently as we stop here on lap 14. It's been a very scrappy race so far. Very scrappy race. But we're in. We'll change the wing. And fingers crossed, we can still do something decent here. Stroll and Norris in the pits as well. They're not changing my front wing.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate.
I have it set to change front wing.
Stop time. We're happy with that one.
I am getting understeer from that front wing, and they've not changed it.
All right, we'll be doing one
Coming out in stone dead last. Hoping then that oh my god, that front wing damage doesn't cost us for the rest of the Grand Prix, because clearly the team don't want to change it. They don't consider it damaged enough to warrant changing. We'll have to put some laps in now, aren't we? Quali laps all the way to the next pit stop, I think, which at present is going to be lap 32.
Nico's coming in for his stop now.
Teammate in the pits. Are we going to be able to undercut him? I had a really poor outlap, though, or start to my outlap. So I think actually Nico's probably going to undercut me here. Alexander Albon's in the pits as well. I think Nico's going to undercut me. Stroll's already coming out the pits the other side. We're going to catch him. We are just going to stay ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Fuel's okay. We've still got 2.27 laps worth of extra fuel, but we are needing to carry that at the minute, which is mad. This Ferrari engine is really, really, really thirsty. We just put in the fastest sector 2 of the race so far. A number of cars coming into the pits now. Oh, that number being 1, actually. It's only Esteban Ocon. Now that gap to Stroll will actually probably open up a bit, now that Ocon isn't holding them all up. Teo Porcher in the other Alfa Romeo has gotten past whatever Williams it is at the front of that queue, and it's holding everybody up. I think it's probably K-Mag on his hard tyres, isn't it? Imagine Verstappen spun, well not spun, but did the whole lock up, go wide, then have to wait in the gravel and on the side of the track for everyone else to go past thing. No damage on Max, he's still going. 7.1 the gap to Albon now. He's about to catch that group. But Sebastian Vettel has made it past the Williams now, so he's going to start extending. It's Latifi, in fact, on his hard. It's not even K-Mag. I thought it was Kevin Magnussen. It's Latifi that was holding everyone up. Daniel Ricciardo's in the pits in his Red Bull. Well, rephrase, Daniel Ricciardo's now out of the pits in his Red Bull. I think I want to start focusing on aero upgrades, though. we can get just a little bit more mechanical grip in the car, then I can run slightly less downforce, but still have enough grip for the corners, meaning that I'll be quicker in a straight line. I think that's the next direction we need to take the car in. I didn't see how worn our tyres were at the end of the sprint, but I think they were pretty worn, and that was 21 laps. And we're planning on pitting lap 32 to go on to mediums to the end. Hamilton's gone on to mediums on lap 24, and presumably he's going to try and take those medium tyres to the end of the race. I'll ask Mark about them.
It's Hamilton ahead. Okay, gaps of the car ahead is 22.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums.
No further stops for Lewis. He's taking those mediums to the end. I think if I can get this soft set to 35, that'll put us in a much better position. Sebastian Vettel's in the pits onto his mediums now to take him to the end of the Grand Prix. So we will have fresher tyres at the end than some of the others around us, but I'm driving like an absolute dickhead in this Grand Prix. I just can't seem to get into the flow of the circuit here at Imola for whatever reason this race weekend, and it's actually really getting to me, but the more it gets to me, the slower I go, so I just have to try and block it out. So I'm just going to perhaps knuckle down for a couple of laps, because now Nico is within DRS range of me, my teammate. That's how slow I am at the minute. Teammates within DRS range now. That gap was 4 seconds. Nico's closed me down by 3 seconds over the course of this stint. Purely from his pace and my lack of it. Going to be within DRS range, I hope, of Latifi. Maybe. Could have been close. It was close. We got it. DRS off the back of Nicholas Latifi. Come on then. Let's get ourselves up to P17 sooner rather than later. And then really try and bring the race home on that medium set. Right, we'll get Latifi now.
Okay, this is good. You're catching the car ahead.
Now just don't fuck me into turn 1, pal, please. Thank you. The inside line into turn 1 is the only real option. If you take the outside line, then the car on the inside just understeers into you. The only real way to overtake into turn 1 is to just lunge it up the inside. You saw what difficulty we had trying to get past Nico Hülkenberg around the outside, and that would just happen with every car. Lewis is pulling away from us at 1.4 seconds a lap. And Latifi finally, bravely, ducks into the pits. Now it's a case of can we hold Nico off until the next set of pit stops. Stroll's in the pits, he'll be going to mediums. Bottas is in the pits as well. Magnussen's in the pits too. Presumably pitting off his hards. Going to gain some positions here. It's a really slow pit stop at Imola and a really long one as well. So much wheel spin at the back, I just can't put the power down coming through 1 and 2. Not properly, because I'd just end up spinning out. Lando Norris, in fact, it was the McLaren that was in the pits. Valtteri Bottas is still flying high. We're currently P14. Fernando Alonso was the one that was in the pits, so you can see how much time you lose in the pits, because we've not seen Alonso all race, nor Norris, so they've clearly lost loads of time in the pit stops because it's just such a long pit stop. Teo Pourchaire is in the pits now as well. He'll be going to his mediums, and Nico's going to his on lap 29. Or are they going to hards? Pourchaire, no, mediums. It is mediums, so Nico's pit early.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
So do I. Now that they've pit from behind me and I've not got much pressure, do I knuckle down for a couple of laps? Try and extend by 32 maybe to 34. You can see from the way that Alonso's closing me down just how quick those medium tyres are when they're fresh. I'm now getting the warning in the little MFD about how worn my tyres are. I'm now 60% worn on my rear right. I can't really go to 34, can I? I'm going to have to stop 32. Alex Albon's in for his tyre stop as well, as is Yuki Tsunoda. So we're going to be up to P11 here. Then when we pit, we'll be back down to P18. And we go again. Nano will have me now. Thanks for the follow, Tapped. Welcome to the channel, mate. Bye, Fernando. I can't battle. I can't fight this. Fernando just casually opening up 2.5 seconds on me in the space of a lap. So we'll pit and get off them. Charles Leclerc is in the pits. He's got the fastest lap currently, even though it's still bugged. So for the final time, we are pitting. Should come out about 18th or 19th. Now don't give me a rubbish pit stop. 2.5 seconds is alright. 2.5 seconds is alright. But it's such a long run from the pit stop all the way to the pit exit that you can see that Latifi and Ocon and Nico Hülkenberg are all going to come flying past me here. I am now dead last. Yeah, the difficulty is very track dependent. At 95, we were really competitive in Bahrain. Nowhere in Jeddah, although that was rain affected as well. And then in Australia, 93 had me kind of competitive, but not massively. And now 90 here in Imola, and it's about the same as it was in Australia. It was a yellow flag, not sure what for. 3.4 seconds to Latifi in 18th. And then there's a gap in front of him, as you can see, to both Alfa Romeos and one of the Aston Martins, presumably Alex Albon. We are about to get lapped though, so we're not worrying about fuel at all. Ocon is now past Latifi, I've just noticed. So that gap in front is actually extending now, as Ocon looks to close down the two Alfa Romeos. Hülkenberg now past Latifi. No, now not past Latifi. Latifi forced him off the track. Hulk now down to P20. And now he's been lapped as well. As if to rub salt in the wounds, Nico had to go off into the gravel to avoid contact with Nicholas Latifi. Then, as he came back onto the track, after being overtaken by me, his teammate had to immediately let a Ferrari through to get lapped. 11% wear on these tyres already. They're going to be dead by the end of the race. Within DRS of Latifi now, but not close enough out of the last corner to challenge him into turn one. So I'm just going to save battery for a lap and then go for him next lap if we can stick with him. 4.1 seconds the gap now to Théo Pourchaire as Ocon has made it past him. Ocon up to P17, now closing down on the other Alfa Romeo. Théo was one of the first to go onto those medium tyres. Well, that Ferrari that was about to lap us is now actually pit and is no longer there. Nico does have a Red Bull out of Daniel Ricciardo and a Mercedes of George Russell closing him down. The yellow flag, that's why the Ferrari's having troubles. I don't know whether it's because he's come out the pits or and just bumped into someone or what. No, he's trying to... Is he battling for position? He's battling for position here with the Haas and the Red Bull. And he's just going to do that thing where he locks up, goes wide. Oh no. He just got forced off the track. That should actually be a penalty to someone there. Does the Red Bull lock up? No, the Red Bull's just thrown it up the inside. in the most hopeful of all hopeful attempts to try and earn a position. And unfortunately, he's probably given himself quite a bit of front wing damage there. And indeed he has. He's lost the end plate on the right hand side of his front wing. The Ferrari's in the dirt behind. The Haas has some damage too. And rather evidently, Charles Leclerc is not having much fun there. But that's certainly a photo opportunity, isn't it, for a thumbnail?
We're catching the car ahead. Well done. But be aware, these tyres need to get us to the end of this race.
Around the outside. There you go. That's how you do it. Whoa! Take that, Nicholas Latifi. Now bugger off. Let's try and close that gap to Théo Pourchaire. It's extended all the way up to 5 seconds now. That was a good move. I enjoyed that one. We forced him deep. Actually got on the brakes slightly earlier so we could get on the power slightly earlier and then get around the outside of him on the way around turn 2. Definitely faster than Théo, but I don't know if I'm fast enough to catch Stroll. We've still got 15 laps to go. Don't rule anything out, King. Don't rule anything out. Sebastian Vettel in the pits, up to P18. Pierre Gasly out of the session, safety car.
Out of this race. Okay, we've been informed of an incident which has resulted.
Okay, so Pierre Gasly's out, safety car. Literally, just as King's saying, don't think I'll be seeing my channel points. Seb's in the pits and Pierre Gasly is out. Now, where is Pierre Gasly? In his... Oh, there he goes. So Pierre is battling here with a Williams of K-Mag and just loses it and ends up in the wall. Pierre Gasly, driver error, out of the Grand Prix. The timing of King's comment is literally bang on. Now, there are still 15 laps to go. We only have fresh hards. I don't know, as fresh hards... Would fresh hards be faster than 30% worn... 30% worn mediums? Do I pit? Do I stay out? We definitely aren't going to get lapped then, so we are going to need to considerably save some fuel. If only we had a fresh set of softs. Oh man, if only we had a fresh set of softs. The way we were going, we would have caught Leclerc. No, Leclerc. Wouldn't catch Leclerc. We would have caught Théo Pourchaire, so we would have finished P16 regardless of the safety car, I believe. I'm sorely tempted to pit for fresh hards. I don't have any fresher mediums, only used. And I don't know how used they are. I presume they're the used set from the sprint race, which would be basically the same as these ones I've got on right now. Oh, bollocks. Only used softs as well. Only used softs as well. So the order as the safety car is ending. Daniel Ricciardo, P1. Still, I believe, to pit again. I'm sure he can't take those mediums all the way to the end from here. Sure he can't. He put them on lap... He put them on lap 21. I mean, he might be able to make them last. He might be able to make them last, but he could be so slow at the end. The safety car might save him. We put ours on lap 32, and ours are like 35% worn. His mediums have gone 11 laps further. 11 laps further. I just don't think it's possible. So, as we were saying, order Ricciardo, who we think has to stop again, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, Bottas, Schumacher, Magnussen. Charles Leclerc has fresh softs on, or relatively fresh softs on. He put those on lap 48. And we're currently on like lap 49, or no, we're into the 50s, I think. But Charles Leclerc is going to be quick at this stage. Very quick. Seb is on softs as well. He's gone medium soft. And Seb put those softs on recently too. Seb put his softs on lap 48 as well. So Sebastian Vettel is going to be fast.
Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature.
We're on lap 52. Or is
Stay
Seb
in
out?
position until the green flags.
Where is Seb? Is that Seb? That's Seb, isn't it? Or is that... No, that's Albon. Where's Seb? Or is Seb out? Seb is... Oh, Seb's a lap down. He's going to be a lap down because he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that's going to cause chaos. So Seb is running last at the minute, but he's going to get lapped by everybody. because he's just going to have to get out of the way. So chaos may ensue. It's already been a very feisty Italian Imola Grand Prix, or Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. The Italian Grand Prix, obviously, officially is Monza. No passing until the safety car line, which is there. Green flag. We are racing once more. From P17, Seb's going to cause chaos momentarily. Can we make any places, or will we just lose places? I certainly hope not. Although Nicholas Latifi is having a look for sure around the outside, but he's not going to make it stick. And it is indeed chaos in front as everyone's trying to get past Seb and everybody else. There's Seb trying to get out of the way. Doing a relatively decent job of doing so.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
I thought about it. I backed out of it. Not worth it. Moving slowly. Seb has now let everyone through. I might have been able to nick a position or two there, but couldn't quite. Charles Leclerc is trying to earn as many positions as he can on those new softs, but actually at the minute I think he's losing places. DRS will be enabled at the end of the next lap. Bottas in the pits, we're up to P16. Must have taken damage. That's his race screwed. They're all getting all over the place here. There are positions to be had. There are positions to be lost. Couldn't call it at the minute. Still got 10 laps to go. So it's a sprint within the sprint at the minute. 10 laps to go and our tyres are 43% worn. It's not going to be great for tyre wear, is it, come the end of the Grand Prix? For us or anyone else. Charles still stuck behind someone. I think it's actually Fernando Alonso in P10 that Charles is stuck behind. Latifi got caught on the curb there, and Nico's having a look, but he's not going to get there. Now he has. Hulkenberg looking to get past Latifi. DRS enabled from this lap. Everyone's going to DRS off everyone else here. It's a case of trying to force drivers into errors so that we can sneak past. Well, if I can get Aqua Minerale right, I could have a run at Teo here. Excuse me, Mr. Porsche. I'd like to come through, please. Thank you. Forced our way past Taylor Porsche. We're up to P15. Really going for it up here as well. The two in front of Magnussen, Ocon and Mick Schumacher are fighting hard. That is a World Championship point in front of Mick Schumacher. Or with Mick Schumacher currently, but we have 2.5 laps to try and overtake 4 cars to get it. I don't think that's going to happen, do you? Not unless they all dramatically knock each other off the track, which is particularly unlikely. 2 laps to go. Albon is all over K-Mag now. They're going to go for it. I just need someone, anyone, to make a mistake. Oh, hello. Albon and Magnussen getting tasty. Down towards Aqua Minerale. That was Magnussen well out of shape though. I just couldn't quite get past. Albon is past K-Mag though and going. Disappearing into the distance. There might be a P13 to be had on the final lap. Two in front are going for it as well, fighting over one championship point. Mick Schumacher and whoever it is that's with him. Esteban Ocon, actually. Tyres are now over 60% worn. Mick Schumacher holding on for that one World Championship point at the minute. But he is clinging on for dear life. Carlos Sainz has actually really opened up a lead up front. Daniel Ricciardo is clinging to a P2 at the minute. I've clattered over the curbs there. It's going to be P14 for us. P14 is still decent though. Carlos Sainz does in fact win the Imola Grand Prix. So a win in Italy for Ferrari, just not necessarily at the bona fide Italian Grand Prix, but Imola isn't far at all from Fiorano, where of course Italy do all their testing and build their cars. But it is a P14 for us in Imola. My thumb is certainly a different shape than it was when it started. Ow. But I'm happy enough with that. I think we would have, I can't remember what the positions were at the time. We would have caught Teo had there not been a safety car. But with the restart Ferrari, the restart mess, as there always is at a start and a restart, we're able to gain an extra couple of positions and get ourselves a P. I thought 14. Was it a 15 in the end? P15. Sorry, not 14. Which is exactly what we got last year at Imola. So the standings look like this at the minute. Carlos Sainz leads the way from Charles Leclerc. He's up to P1. Max Verstappen and then Daniel Ricciardo next. Then Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. Bit of a jump back to Esteban Ocon. Then a bit of a jump back to Lando Norris. And then single digits for Tsunoda, Gasly and Mick, who's picked up his 3rd point of the season. Congratulations to him. We are 15th in the standings right now. But I think we should have some upgrades before Miami, which would be very good news. And we might have enough money to upgrade something with regards to facilities soon as well. Perhaps after the Miami weekend. But really, genuinely, we have the opportunity to leap a bit for this next Grand Prix. Let's see what we could do. Race simulations. Let's get Nico performing better. That'll do. And then we'll do the driver promotion and chassis team building. Why not? Because we want stuff to improve quicker. We've got stuff that is going to pass between now and the Miami Grand Prix. The rear flaps have now passed as well, which is great. So we've 600 resource points and at present nothing to spend them on. Not worried about durability still at this stage of the season. 2.85 million in the bank, which isn't really enough to do anything at present. We should be getting some upgrades here. Build time's up. New parts coming through. A marketing event. Oh, and yeah, Daniel Ricciardo in a Red Bull, no. Lando Norris in a McLaren, no. Esteban Ocon in an Alpine, no. None of those are really adequate rivals, to be honest. And as it has done previously, it's frozen on me. So let me restart the game, and hopefully I don't have to do that whole bloody Grand Prix again. I'm pretty sure I don't. Bear with me. Yeah, team headquarters round 5 of 22. We're all right. We don't have to do the whole race weekend again. We're where we were, but it appears I now don't have a rival. I don't believe. Let's have a look. No rivalry at present. So at some point we'll have to select a rival again. 849 resource points isn't enough to select anything. 3.65 million isn't really enough to do anything yet. I need some more money, and then we can up the quality control with aerodynamics and with chassis. Aero is where I want to focus on next, both front and rear downforce. So I'm going to need 1,000 for the rear and 1500 for the front, but I really want to do the front downforce because I'm pretty desperate for some extra mechanical grip. The engine cover has passed, which is good news. The ECU has passed, which is good news. So our next port of call, front wing downforce, 1500 resource points, but we will be able to get that from the next Grand Prix. And we have, with those previous updates, now leapt above Aston Martin and are very nearly level with Haas and McLaren. So we're working our way back up again. Updates finally arriving, and it's making a difference. The tyre wear will be here for the next Grand Prix, as will the ERS upgrade. So we're really looking good on that front. You can see how much we have to make up on Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Good. So Miami next wasn't a good track for us last time, but that was because of the straight line speed of the AI. Hopefully, with the update to the game and us racing on 90 difficulty now, we can be competitive there. That is all for this one, though, for today. YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Come and follow me on Twitch as well. There's no stream today as you see this video, but there is a stream tomorrow. So do come and join me for the Miami Grand Prix on Friday afternoon. Thank you very much for watching. Those of you on ChesnoidPlays, we'll see you next time.